This is the Padua Podcast Network. If you're in good health and able-bodied, you're very fortunate. Think about yourself as winning the lottery. Running a Fever, episode 206, The Physics of Fitness. Welcome to Running a Fever. I'm Michael Davis, and this is a podcast about fitness, diet, and medicine. You know, it's a break, and I'm trying to remember all the things that I was just in the rhythm of doing when I was doing this on a more regular basis. But I'll get better at that. It's a beautiful day at Lake Atalanta. Overcast. The forecast calls for light rain, and it's 64 degrees. Just been really wet all the time lately, and lucky when we occasionally get a couple of days without rain. But it's lovely here, and I'm here early in the morning, so it's not very crowded, and it's just good to get out. It's just good to get out of the house today, Sunday morning. Hey. Me? Yeah. No, I'm just walking. You? Nope. I don't know why he thought I was a fisherman, or if he did. Maybe he thought I've got a fisherman, pocket fisherman. This bird is really close. I'll try to take a picture of him. Got within a few feet of that bird without him flying away. Yeah, a couple of fishermen here early Sunday morning. So today I want to talk about the physics of fitness. And kind of what brought this topic to mind is I've been reading this biography of Albert Einstein. And it's something like that. I mean, you can say, oh yeah, he went to school, he got married, he went here, he went there. But you can't really talk about his life unless you talk about the science, because that was his life. So I've been learning quite a bit about Einstein's theories, and I really had no idea what relativity meant, and honestly, it's difficult. I know there's a book out there somewhere called Relativity for Dummies, believe it or not, but anyway. In college, I knew a physics major, and this just occurred to me because I never realized that it never occurred to me that he was a physics major, and he said this, and I don't know if that had something to do with it, but he would say, attitude check. I hate this place. Relative attitude check. My mother hates this place. Anyway, paraphrasing there. But I did have a physics class in college, and I've read Aristotle's work on physics in grad school. Been kind of a long time for those, though. So I've been thinking about the concepts of inertia and momentum, metaphorically, having to do with what we talk about here. But I had to look them up to be sure, and so I thought I would just kind of share those definitions. Inertia, this is from dictionary.com. The property of matter by which it retains its state of rest or its velocity along a straight line, so long as it is not acted upon by an external force. It's also known as Newton's first law of physics. And I'm more used to hearing this definition stated as follows. An object at rest stays at rest unless an external unbalanced force acts on it. And same for an object in motion. The original was in Latin, so for Newton. So I suppose it's open to interpretation as to what the exact words are, but the meaning is clear enough. And metaphorically, I can apply that to fitness. A person on a couch watching TV will continue doing so unless something convinces him to get off his butt and exercise. And a person who works out regularly will continue to do so until something makes him want to stop. Basically, it's pretty hard to break a habit, whether it's good or bad. All right, starting the uphill climb here. You never realize how out of shape you are until you actually get off the couch and get out and doing that. And I'm feeling that right now. Sitting around the house, there's no stress. You can say, well, I'm not breathing hard here. I seem to be doing just fine. Nothing's changed. Well, you haven't tested yourself. I haven't tested myself. So I need to do that. I need the challenge. Okay, let's move on to momentum. It's the idea that applied force equals mass times acceleration. F equals ma. So you can be smaller and faster, or bigger and slower, and have the same impact. Metaphorically, people talk about gaining or gathering momentum, building a bigger impact, generally by gathering more people to a purpose. 1.8 on the Lake Atlanta loop. That's what the sign says. Uphill. Getting to the top. Smelling a little bit of honeysuckle. There it is. Sweet smell of honeysuckle. When you look at something in a different light, literally a different light, you see different things, notice different things. Something about morning light, I guess, is different. And I haven't been here a lot in the early morning. The street lights, I call them street lights, I guess this isn't really a street, but the lights are on still. And I'm still going uphill. It's a long, slow grade. It's not steep, but it's a hill nonetheless. So I'm fighting gravity as well as inertia. A lot of Newtonian things going on. So, the faster you go, the harder it is to stop. And the bigger you are, the harder it is to stop. By the way, momentum is sometimes used as in terms of being hard to stop. I've got momentum in my studies. I'm learning more every day. Nothing can stop me now. So, this just adds up to the idea that once you start exercising, it's easier to progress and less easy to stop. downhill. So we've talked about inertia, we talked about momentum, and now we're going to talk about friction. Friction acts against these things. Some of the metaphorical friction I've experienced in my fitness life are getting busy at work, injuries, sickness, or other kinds of stress. COVID-19, you know. So what is motion? These are all concepts and laws of motion. And motion is important to longevity, because the more you move, basically the more you move, the longer you live. It's you don't ever want to stop moving, right? Moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone. The fewer injuries you have, it keeps you from having injuries. Helps to kind of stave off that kind of thing. You don't want to be all stiff when you're moving, when you have to move. So the more you move, the less of that you're going to have. Fewer injuries you're going to have, the better you're going to feel, etc. If you're in good health and able-bodied, you're very fortunate. Think about yourself as winning the lottery. I've got my health, I've got my ability to move. And you have if you are able-bodied, you have the capacity for a lot of motion, and you should keep as active as you can. The momentum you gain by keeping in motion will make things easier for you as you face the frictions of the future. And as Beretta used to say, that's the name of that tune. So I hope you have enjoyed the physics lesson. Einstein is a very interesting man in more ways than just being a revolutionary physicist. So I would also recommend this book about Einstein, although it's kind of difficult. It's over 600 pages, and not like a Stephen King 600 pages. It's a little denser than that. But Walter Isaacson is the author, and it was written, I want to say about 10 years ago, something like that. So you should be able to pick it up used for a pretty good price. And check it out. Einstein, His Life and Universe. Well, it's been awesome being back with you here again today. So glad to be back on a regular schedule, and looking forward to all of the episodes we have coming up in the future. Got a few video episodes, some interviews that I've had, and stay safe out there. Stay safe out there, and use the recommended guidelines. And so, until next time, if you got the fever, keep it. If you don't have it, catch the fever. And I will talk to you next time on Running a Fever.